You told me that you love me, but actions speak louder than words. Okay, we're on to day 8. CHRISTMA, action, aka plan. Now, this is where we are responding to the survey that we put out earlier on this year, asking people what their plans were for 2023, asking speakers specifically. And one thing that came back was lack of a plan. So we added this one and tomorrow's onto our 7 pillars, and now we have 9. Plan. What do I mean by a plan? Well, you've got under your belt now all you need to think about in terms of why you're doing it, your purpose, why you're speaking, the purpose of your message, why you're speaking to this group at this time. What's the reason? What's that deep down reason that's going to hold you there, even when life gets in the way? You know, you focused on your why, you focused on your what you're saying and how you're saying it. Can be done quite a lot of work on the delivery as well. Now what? Beautifully crafted, know how to say it. Now what? You need a plan, don't you? Where does your speaking fit into your business plan? I'm assuming that being an influential speaker, you want to make some money from this because that's important. People will listen when they've got skin in the game, even more than when they're at that sort of level. Marry the two together and you've got a receptive audience. So how are you going to monetize your speaking? Where does it fit in your plan? As I said, your business plan. Is speaking your primary revenue stream? Is it one of many? What's the most lucrative way of turning your words into money? Well, this kind of depends on the sort of style of speaking that you are moving into. Everybody thinks keynote, that's the only one. That's the one that's going to earn you money. Yes and no. Because as a keynote speaker, you get your check up front and make sure you do get it up front and not after the fact, because then it's very difficult for the event manager to, and you don't get paid. Make sure you get paid up front. But that's it. You're not allowed to sell from stage. Keynote speakers are the top and the tail of conferences. They're the most memorable because of the recent primacy and recency. Okay, I'm getting a bit technical now. But the effects of those. So your keynote is the most memorable, absolutely. That's why they command a decent whack of money, if and when you are well known. We'll come on to that tomorrow. My point being that that's where the money stops. You've been given your check, end of. There are platform speakers, and those can be at conferences. Those can particularly be at events that are lots of different speakers talking on a similar theme. Those are the ones that sandwich in between your keynotes. And very often, they are the ones who can sell from stage. So this is not a case of, right, you got your check, off you go. This is your opportunity to give amazing value and be able to pitch your program, your book, your working with you in whatever way is appropriate. I mentioned a book, didn't I? Well, one of the things that we're doing next year is offering a multi-author book. Again, this was something that came up in the survey that people were interested in. Now, a multi-author book, 3,000 words, one chapter, in a theme of how to get your message across in amongst a whole heap of other people Yes, there is the downside of your name is not the one and only on the cover. However, again, we're going to think about that tomorrow in the promotional stuff. You have access to lots of other people's networks in that respect. Similar theme, remember? Having a plan. Having a plan also to think about how you're going to move forward next year. Again, the plan and the promotion come pretty hand in hand, and we're going to talk a bit more about that tomorrow. But thinking about what do you want to get out of next year or future years? Is a TEDx on your horizon? Do you have conferences that you want to speak at? Are there podcasts that you want to do? Think about how you're going to strategize with the podcast. Podcasts are two a penny. There are so many out there. How do you decide which ones you want to apply for? And if you're offered those opportunities, which ones are you going to take? Because you could quite honestly spend all day recording podcasts for other people or yourself. That's something else, isn't it? I know they're two a penny, but if you have structured, you've got that real strategy about who your audience is. Go back to your why, go back to your who, go back to your what the pain and the problem is. If you've got an target audience that you want to reach, you can give tremendous value from your own material and also in interviewing other people who are in a similar sphere, if you will, giving value to your audience, because that's what we're all about, isn't it? Being influential and offering value. So who are the podcasts? Who are the podcast audiences that you want to reach? And then who are the podcasters that are speaking to those communities? Can you see where we're getting strategic? Look at what's available. Where does your person hang out, your ideal client? Remember when we were talking about the Jill, or your Jill, whoever your Jill happens to be? Where does your Jill hang out? Who are they listening to already? Can you get on those podcasts? What are the things that your Jill is looking for in her personal development? Where is she looking? Is she looking on YouTube? In which case, YouTube is where you need to be, putting up regularly. And again, it's this consistency because you've got a plan. What are the socials that your ideal person is on? Is it LinkedIn? Is it Facebook? Is it Insta? Is it TikTok? Not mine, I admit. Where is the best place to access, to offer value to your ideal client? You need to be seen. Again, we're going to come a bit more onto that tomorrow. But having the strategy, having the plan behind it. A lot of people, particularly in the creative sphere and in the spiritual sphere, shy away from the word structure. Maybe even resistant to structure. Okay, I admit it, I'm one of them. However, when you have some structure, whether it be how you plan your talk or how you plan your week, your month, your year, in terms of using your speaking to draw in that income, structure is important. I have a number of my spiritual students who said, oh, but I download. I said, well, yes, you do. But even downloads require a container. I like to think of it as the river. People go, oh, but I'm in flow. I'm in flow. Well, yes, you are in flow. But think about a river. A river has its banks. it still flows within those banks, because if it overflows, you get a muddy swamp. And then you don't know where you're going and you're not serving your audience. So having a plan. Trust this is giving you a bit of insight into taking that step back. You've got your speech organized. Yep, brilliant, great. Now let's look at the overall, how am I going to use it? Get to being strategic. Where do you want to be? What are those stages that you want to be on? And how are you going to get there? A bit more about that tomorrow. Today has been about action and planning. If you want to know more about this, give me a shout. And if you haven't already got it, download the 9 Pillars of Influential Communication. For now, bye from me.